Well, Don from the Coast is going to meet up with me at Klootchy County Park in Klootchy County, just off of Highway 26. Then we're going to hike north up to Davis Point, something we've been wanting to do for a long time. It's going to be a loop hike, so we'll loop on back around back to the park. It's going to be about 13 miles, so it's going to be a long hike. And it's a gated hike, so you need to get a permit. And I'll put the link down below. So down the trail. We're back at Klootchy Creek County Park, Klootchy County. It's just north of Highway 26. And we're gonna do a big old loop up to Davis Point. And we've been here before, and remember, if you're gonna hike this, it's behind a locked gate, so you need to have a permit. So, down the trail. All right, we're gonna make a lefty here and head north. And make a clockwise loop. So we're a little bit over 1.5 miles in, and there's a little signpost here. It says, this is the uphill route. I cannot argue with that so far. So we're gonna make a right turn here and cut across the low tide trail. Keep on climbing up. So that's the objective of this hike. There's Davis Point, and we're making progress down the trail. So there's Twin Peaks. We hiked that a couple weeks ago, but today the goal is Davis Point. So I guess we're gonna go down the trail. So we got Kidder's Butte, South Sugarloaf, Onion Peak, and South Onion Peak, I believe. So we got a lot of peaks right there. Neat little view. Looks like we're gonna get a little rain. Well, we hit a junction here, and we're gonna head down to 300. So we're going to veer to the left here, and this will take us all the way up to the summit of Davis Point. Rumor has it that back in the day there used to be a fire lookout up here. If we see any evidence of that, I'll make sure I include it in the video. But word has it that it fell over years ago. So up, up, up. So we're 6.25 miles in, and we still got a little bit of up to do before we hit the summit peak. There you go. So we're not quite to the peak here, but this was just too good a view to pass up. Look over here, you can see the Columbia and the ocean, and wow, not too bad. So we're up the tippy top right now, and the views are pretty darn good. We're lucking out on the rain and not too many clouds. Oh, look at that. That's something. Oh, and then, yeah, you got the tower. Sorry about that. But we're doing a 360 here, and we're gonna eat some lunch. My daughter, Kelsey, and my son-in-law, Jordan, they were nice enough to give me some freeze-dried pizza, so I'm living high on the hog today. Gonna be a good lunch, and then we're gonna head on back down, back to the Jeep Liberty. Down the trail. So here we go. This looks like the remains of the old tower. We've got some climbing stakes. And we got lots and lots of concrete right here, and a bunch more concrete. And this is actually set in concrete, so I think we might have found the old fire lookout, at least what's left of it. Pretty cool. Well, we're heading back down, but God, what a view! My gosh, that's a double 1+. So we're starting to head down, and I just got to say it was a little over 6.5 miles up to the top. So I just want to add that in. So down the trail. So we were going to loop around and go that way, but instead we're going to go this way because, yeah, Mike here, he forgot and dropped his fleece. So we got to go find my fleece somewhere down the trail. So down the trail. All right. As we move in closer into the wild beast, we fiend. Yes, here at the Wild Kingdom, we find the carcass of my fleece. And so, since it's here, I'm going to put it on, and we're going to turn around. We're going to make this darn thing into a loop, since we've only been about a half to a quarter mile down the road. So, down the. Well, we got about 14 plus miles in right now. We're getting pretty tired. And this trail here is called the Sticky Buns Trail, and it says wrong way. And at this point in my life, I really don't want to go up any trail called Sticky Buns. It just sounds very unattractive. So down the trail. So we're at 15.87 miles right here where I'm standing, and the hike was supposed to be 13.87 miles, so we ended up doing 2 miles more than we expected. Not really sure how that happened. I'm not sure I'm happy that that's what happened, but yeah, it's and we did about 2,000 feet of elevation gain. A little bit longer hike than I wanted, but the views up there on top of Davis Point were exceptional. And usually at this point I say, down the trail, and I click off right here. And I am going to click off, but hang on. I'm going to do one little bit of filming right when we get back to the Jeep. Liberty. Now, it's rare that I complain about anything I eat on the trail. I pretty much eat just about anything. I mean, I was pretty stoked today that I got to eat freeze-dried pizza. But this stuff, not so much. According to Don from the coast, it tasted like eating Tide Pods. Now, I personally have never eaten a Tide Pod, but I did teach middle school, and I did have some students who did eat Tide Pods, and it did not end well. So I discourage people from eating Tide Pods, and I guess I would discourage you from eating this stuff, unless you're like maybe 12 years old or something. So just keep that in your back pocket. Yuck.